Have you ever wondered what it was like to be a nurse? Nurses have many responsibilities that they are held accountable for. In one shift, there are many tasks that must be completed by nurses. Nurses do not always get the appreciation from patients that they maybe should. There are requirements placed on nurses in order to keep their license active. Most nurses are easily burnt out because of these things mentioned. Nurses work either 8-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts, which can be hard to do every day when your patients are not kind to you. Nurses see patients at their worst. They usually are not feeling well if they are in need of being cared for, and therefore, they usually are not the happiest of people during these times. Today I would like to inform you about the day-to-day life as a nurse. Let us begin by looking at the daily tasks required for a nurse to complete on a daily basis. Nurses are held accountable for their daily tasks that must be completed by the end of their shift. Depending on what type of shift you work can impact the amount of time and how rushed you may be during your shift. I work 8-hour shifts, so completing all of the work in one shift can be difficult. 12-hour shifts I have found in the past are easier to complete all of your work. With 12-hour shifts, you have more time to plan out how you want your shift to go, whereas an 8-hour shift, you are rushed from the moment you walk in the door. Either way, on your shift, you are responsible to have all of your tasks completed. The daily tasks that are asked to be completed by nurses can add up fast, causing nurses to become stressed out, wondering how all of the tasks will be completed. There's a medication pass, typically at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 12 a.m., and 4 a.m., depending on where you work. On day shift, which is 7 to 3, there is 5 medication passes. The first pass can take anywhere from 2.5 to 4 hours, depending on how heavy the pass is. When working 8-hour shifts, that's already half of your shift. The other tasks that are usually asked of nurses in a shift typically include treatments, IV administration, peg tube feedings, Foley catheter care, and more. Treatments are wound care dressings. These treatments can be just a cream to be applied to an area of the body, to an extensive wound vac dressing that can take up to 45 minutes at a time. IV administration is also common. Many people receive IV medications, which can take up time, especially if the pump to run the medication does not want to cooperate with you. Peg tube feedings are used when people cannot consume food by mouth. This tube is inserted directly to the patient's stomach. Each day, the nurse is responsible for the patient to receive their food via the peg tube. The tube must also be flushed on each shift. The dressing around it must also be changed. These are the physical day-to-day functions of a nurse. Also, nurses must deal with mental stressors such as the following. Mental stressors of nursing can be the most difficult ones to deal with. Many patients are not at their best when nurses are caring for them. While most nurses can be compassionate towards this, it can be quite wearing on a person. Nurses are there to help make their patients feel better. When patients are not appreciative or even just rude to the nurses, it can make a nurse's job that much harder. This is probably one of the most difficult parts of the job, being a people pleaser, but unable to make people happy all of the time. There are many things a nurse must do to keep their license in good standing. Every 2 years, nurses must renew their license with the state. In order to renew the license with the state, you must pay a fee of about $100, which the nurse is responsible for paying. In order to renew your license, you must also have a certain amount of continuing education courses that prove that you are up to date in specific areas of education. Continuing education courses can either be taken in a classroom setting or through online courses. However, the nurse is responsible for making payment on these courses and completing them in a timely manner. Nurses go through many physical and mental stressors in their daily routine. The best way to handle these stressors is to plan out your day as quickly and efficiently as possible. Life as a nurse can be quite taxing on a person, but it can also be very rewarding. If you have ways to de-stress and have hobbies outside of work, you will be just fine. Thank you.